Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
Alright, hey you guys, it's me, Drika K, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've been here before, welcome back, gang. So, in one of my last videos, I did a testimony of how I overcame betrayal, hurt, embarrassment, shame, the whole 9 yards. So now that I have that out the way, I'm just going to start like sharing story times of, you know, things that kind of like put a damper on my spirit, kind of like, you know, hurt me, because like I'm in the healing phase. Like I feel like I'm healed from it and it no longer hurt, but now I'm just wanting to tell the story to like help somebody else, to get it off my chest, and just, you know, just to free myself from it. So okay, this is a story time about the time where I caught my friend and my boyfriend, which is actually my baby daddy, but back then we did not have a baby together, so he was just my boyfriend. But I caught my friend and my boyfriend texting, and also like kind of like talking on the phone. It's a little weird, but we just gonna get right into the video. Alright, so around this time, like I told y'all, at this time we had not had a baby together. A baby was not even thought of. Really and truly, when I had the baby, she was not, you know, planned or whatever. But at this time, he was not my baby daddy. He was just my boyfriend. So I met my baby daddy on Easter, and it was my birthday in the year of, I want to say 2018. I'm not sure. It does not matter. But I met him on Easter. He was with a group of his friends and I was with 2 of my friends. I'm not going to say any names because me and this particular friend, we are still like, we're still friends to this day, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird to explain, but let me just get back into the story. So we met, I met my child's father on Easter. It was my birthday. Him and his friends were walking, and my friend saw them, and she was like, excuse my language, y'all, but she was like, damn, he fine. But she was talking about another guy in the group. We gonna name this guy C for the sake of this video. C. She was talking about C, and my boyfriend in the last video, remember, his name is L. So she saw them, and at this time I was looking for my phone that was lost because of this particular friend. So while I was going ahead looking for my phone, she saw these group of guys, and we're supposed to be looking for my phone, but she got sidetracked and she was like, damn, he fine. She was talking about C. And so when she said that, the guys, they kind of came over to them or whatever, and so everybody was like just chit-chatting except me, because I walked on ahead because I was looking for my phone. But lo and behold, somebody was walking behind me, and at the time it was L, and he stopped me and he was talking to me. He was asking for my number, yada yada yada, whatever. So we exchanged numbers, this and the third. I told him I don't know if I was gonna be able to contact him because I don't have a phone now, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But anyway, so that night, that particular night, after meeting him, and this is kind of like a 2-part story too. It's like how I met my baby daddy and the situation of my friend and my boyfriend texting / talking on the phone. So yeah, that night, after all of that or whatever, that was it. He took my number. You know, I thought nothing about it. I kept on looking for my phone around the little area that we was in, and somehow I ended up I walked away from the group. They didn't know where I went because they were still conjugating with C in the clan or whatever. So I walked ahead looking for my phone, and so it was getting dark, so they ended up not being able to find me. But the area was actually like really small. If they had just walked a couple more steps or walked a little more, they probably would have found me. But I ended up getting left in that city, which was 30 minutes away from where I live in our city. But I ended up getting left down there, and so I didn't know what to do. I knew it was late night. Didn't really want to call my family because I knew they would be worried or whatever. So I came up with this brilliant idea to walk back home. Now it's dark, and that road be having like a lot of deers, a bunch of all kinds of stuff. I was out of my mind, but I was also a little drunk that night too, y'all. But I started walking, And soon as like I reached downtown of the city, which was 30 minutes away from where from my city, soon as I reached downtown, I ended up seeing a car that was passing by, and it had one of my friends and her boyfriend. They were in the car together, and just so happens they were actually coming to the function or whatever. They came late, but that don't matter. They was coming to the function or whatever, but they ended up stopping and picking me up. And like I remember we went back in the area, we rode around and stuff like that, and I noticed like in the area I didn't see my friends nowhere, like they were gone. So we ended up going back to Cordele, a 30-minute ride and some change or whatever. So we got back to Cordele, whatever. They dropped me off. I still didn't want to go home even after this long night that I had. I still didn't want to go home, so I had them to drop me off in this local apartment complex in my city or whatever, where I knew everybody would be standing out at, where I found like my other set of friends standing out. So I was telling them everything that had happened and that I got left down there, you know, yada yada yada. And so I got in the car with that group of friends, and we ended up going to this club that was in the city. It was called the Fourth Quarter. So we went to the Fourth Quarter or whatever, and so I got to the Fourth Quarter, and I ended up seeing my friend, the one that I got left by. I ended up seeing her down there, and of course it was smoke in the city at the time. Like we had beef. I was very upset about that because like I'm like, you left me. Like I would have never left you knowing that I don't know where you are. I would have still been in that city like looking for my friend because I'm not going home without my friend that came with. You know, like that type of thing. I ain't have no phone. So, you know, I just felt like it was just really sketchy. But, you know, I'm healing from that, and I'm trying my best to, like, you know, move on from it. You know, it is what it is. It's whatever. There's no need in keep crying over spoiled milk, especially if I'm steadily continuing to be friends with her. But it's just because I just don't know. Like, I don't know. But we'll get to that. So, this, like I say, we made it to the Fourth Quarter or whatever, and I saw my friend, the one that left me or whatever, and so she walked up to me, and then she started talking to me. She was like, we was trying to look for you, where were you? We was looking everywhere, all over for you, and da 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 da, and then she was like, Elle was looking for you, and I'm just like, I'm really ignoring her. I'm with my other group of friends, and this particular group of friends, they really didn't too much care for this friend, but whatever. So I'm just looking straight past her, like I'm ignoring the heck out of her, like I'm not trying to hear it. I'm upset you left me or whatever, like you dead to me right now. So she ended up walking off or whatever, and so a couple of minutes after she walked off, guess who comes up to me? Elle. So Elle comes all the way from that city to my city, not to just see me, but it was Easter. Everybody on Easter, everybody's just outside, like anything goes. Everybody just city hopping, like from city to city. So he came to city hop to my city or whatever, but he came to city hop to my city or whatever. And so he was like, your friends, they was looking for you, you know, like where you been. I low-key was kind of egging him too, because I just really was not bothered for real. And then he was like, I came down here for you or whatever, and you know, I'm just like, I'm looking at him like, boy please, like boy why you ain't come down here for me or whatever. And so that was pretty much that. I don't really remember much of that night or whatever, but I just know that later I ended up finding out like him and C went to my friend's house, and L was there just being supportive of his friend. I ended up finding out, you know, they went to her house or whatever, and after that they came to the Fourth Quarter or whatever. So that was pretty much the end of, you know, that night. I ended up getting left down there in another city. L ended up coming to my city for me, or so he says, or whatever. So while I'm putting this together, keep this in mind, okay? In the last video I told y'all when I met my baby daddy, I really had not even looked at his face because I was nervous. Like I be real shy around guys or whatever, so I really didn't even get a good look at him for real. But keep in mind, my friend saw L that time when we all first met down there in the city, when she said, damn, he fine, but she was talking about C. So my friend saw him. That's the first time she saw him. Okay, so that night, they went back to her apartment. So she saw him a second time. Keep this in mind, y'all. It's gonna all make sense in a little bit. This three times. I mean, this the second time. 1, 2, uno, dos. All right, so they all come to the Fourth Quarter. They all standing out at the car together. Uno, dos, tres. This is a third time seeing third time seeing L. And I'm just like, okay, like I said, all this it's gonna change. Just remember, she saw him 3 times that night. 3 times that night. Okay, so, all right, she saw him 3 times that night, y'all. Stay in here with me. Hang in here with me. It's gonna all make sense of why I'm putting emphasis on uno, dos, tres. She saw him 3 times that night. All right, so oh, my nerves getting a little bad while I'm telling this story, but all right. So time goes on. At this point, me and L, we have made it official. We have started talking. We done went on our first date or whatever. Time done went on. He done made me his girlfriend. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Red flag, or whatever. So, we're talking. Everything is going good. Or, I thought everything was going well. So, one day, I'm hanging out with my friend. I'm hanging out with my friend now, and this friend also calls me sis. To this day, I'm her sister. She's my sister. I also call her sis. This is why I really don't even trust myself, to be honest, and I don't really even trust people, to be honest. But we're hanging out. We're hanging out. It's probably like a Friday or a Saturday night. I don't know. And we're trying to find a move. We're trying to find something to do. So all that day, I spent that entire day with her. You know, because I always would. I didn't work on the weekends. She worked, but she would be off at a certain time or whatever. But yeah, we spent that entire day together or whatever. And so like the afternoon came, I remember just sitting in her car while she went to go get something out of her apartment. So I'm just sitting there, and her phone rings. And so I mind my business when folks' phone ring. I try to anyway. So her phone rang, but she had it like hooked up to her car. So I just glanced, and I'm just like, this number look familiar. So I put up my phone real fast. Sorry, the camera had stopped recording. But I put up my phone real fast, and I'm going to my contacts. I'm just like, this number just kind of look, it just look, you know, kind of familiar, whatever. Y'all, I look in my contacts, and I just go to L's name. I look at the number. I look at the number calling the phone. Why does these numbers match? So at this point, I'm just like, you know, what's going on? Why is he calling her? Why does he even have her number? Like, what's going on? Like, what? You know, so at this point, my chest don't start beating real fast, because I'm just like, what? So my friend gets back in the car, and so I don't even remember this part verbatim, but I remember she got in the car, and I was like, L just called your phone. I was like, why is he calling you? And I don't even remember for real, but this girl told me like she was like, one day she was on Facebook, and she was on Facebook one day, and she was like, she got a message from somebody on her Facebook, and so she was like, her and the guy had been talking, this, that, and the third. This girl told me she did not recognize the picture on the Facebook profile. She didn't recognize that it was him because it looked so different. He didn't look like himself. She didn't know that was my boyfriend. She didn't know it was L at the time, and so she was like, they swapped numbers. She was like, he didn't even mention that it was him and that you was his girlfriend, yada, yada, yada. So at this point, I'm upset with L. Like, I'm upset with L, but I'm also not believing this BS that my friend is telling me. You mean to tell me somebody that my friend been talking to for a good little minute, you don't remember what he looked like? And then she threw up this whole thing like, you know, she was drunk that night when she saw him. But how many times I told y'all? And I know y'all probably saying, where is my sweet little voice at? This is, when I'm telling the story, this is how I be. I'm very animated. I can be very articulate, but now is not the time. But this is why I was telling y'all to keep in mind, how many times did she see him that night? How many? Let me hear it. How many? 3 times. Uno, dos, tres. 3 times. She saw him 3 times that night. Y'all, I don't care how drunk I am or how drunk I may get. I'ma always know who my friend talk to. I'ma always know who my friend talk to. Especially if we like this, we sis, we don't share photos of the guy or something like that. Even if you ain't sharing photos, don't bet you when you met the guy, I'ma know who he look like. My mind go clink. Don't took a picture of the guy in my head. You know, so I'm just like, I'm upset with everybody at this point. So I'm calling L, I'm cursing him out. I'm just like, you know, why? No, I'm calling him. He ain't even picking up the phone. Cause first I should have been smart, but I text him and I was like, why you calling my friend? Like, what's up with that or whatever? So I'm calling, he ain't picking up. I'm calling. So he finally texted back and he was like, I'm on the bus with my homeboy, cause he be doing like the little AAA.
Boy, if you don't
Traveling basketball, football stuff. I think it was traveling football. That's what it was. But he ain't picking up. He smiles. He on the bus with his homies and they celebrating it too loud. I'm really not even trying to hear that right now. You need to pick up this telephone right now. You know, so he ain't never pick up the phone, y'all. And so pretty much that night, that jump was over with. I want to go home. So I go home. But, you know, this whole time we there, she telling me, she was like, she didn't know up with him. He looked different. His name on the thing was different. But at the time, I knew what his name was on it. I knew what his name was. And even if it ain't had his government name, still, it got pictures of him. You could have scrolled through them pictures and been like, hold on, this my friend dude. You know, so that's why I was upset with her. Like, me and her, we never fell out about a dude. You know, some people be like, you know, she'll probably tell people we fell out behind, you know, a dude, my baby daddy. But it really deeper than that, because you can't tell me. And that's why I feel like deep in my heart that, you know, I'm not wrong. I remember I went like through all of my days. Keep in mind now. Keep in mind. Shortly after all of this went on, I ended up becoming pregnant. I admit, I fell out with my friend, but I went back to my dude. I did. We went back and we started talking. I ain't gonna say we got over the situation. That was another red flag. That's why I said a lot of times, a lot of this stuff is my fault, because I didn't have to go through this, but because of my decisions, I brought this on myself. I saw red flags, a lot of them, and I kept going. They looked like 6 flags to me, and I kept going. But me and my friend, we ended up not talking. We stopped talking like for a good little minute. I went my entire pregnancy without even speaking to her. That's 9 months or whatever. But like I said, me and my dude, me and L, we had got back together or whatever. And I remember asking him about it, and he was like, I was like, well, who messaged who first? And he claimed, he was like, she messaged me. You know, but one thing I truly believe now, I don't believe that my friend reached out to him first. I truly feel like they both some dirty dogs. I feel like they both were doing dirt. And I'm sorry, Heavenly Father, but I feel like they both was doing dirt. They was both up to no good. And the only goal they had was to hurt me, to be honest. But I asked him, and he was like, she reached out to him first. Didn't really buy it. Didn't really matter. I took my dude back or whatever. So we continued our relationship or whatever. None of that. It never came up. But throughout the relationship, I always asked him, like, randomly, like, tell me the truth. Like, who messaged who first? Never really got the truth. He always said that she messaged him first. Do I believe that? Not at all. How the cards have played out, do I believe that he messaged her first? Absolutely. I even felt like then he messaged her first. But it's like the same thing. Like, even if he messaged her first, as my friend, you were supposed to know who he was and shut that down and then tell me. Girl, Elle was trying to talk to me, girl, and then let me decide from then on. You didn't say nothing. You were talking to him, y'all exchanged number. Ain't no telling how long that was even going on, y'all. And I ain't know nothing. I ain't know nothing. I still don't even know to this day if my friend slept with Elle. if my friend don't slept with my baby daddy, which he wasn't my baby daddy at the time, but I still don't know to this day. And so I went through my pregnancy. I would see this girl and like whole time my heart hurting. We had beef. It was real. When you be pregnant, your emotions be different. Like I low key couldn't stand her. Like I was just hurt. Like, you know, I'm like, you were supposed to be my friend or whatever, and you did this to me. Not to mention I'm still hurt over the fact that the reason why my phone, even though I hadn't got a new phone, but just holding on to a grudge. The reason why my phone had broken at that time was because of you. The reason why I'm down here in this city was because of you. The reason why I got left down there in that city was because of you. You know, so all kinds of stuff like that going on, you know, in my mind. And then, you know, that happened. I see him calling your phone or whatever, and you lying to me. All of that was making my blood boil while I was pregnant. And I just remember, like, Lord, like, it was driving me crazy because at some points I started missing her. Because I was like, this has always been a friend of mine, like a real good friend, y'all. But I will admit, I would be lying if I said that I trust her 100%. I would be lying if I said that. And I would be lying if I have not witnessed sneaky behavior from her before, because I have watched how she deals with other people and know that it's kind of grimy and it's a little low down. You know, I have witnessed that. So why would I think that she would not have done, you know, that to me, especially now when I'm like, you don't cross that line now. You know, but at the same time, like, because I done been friends with the girl, the church that I became a member of, like, she was the first person to invite me to that church as her friend when we were in high school. We created a bond together. So I missed her, but at the same time, the beef was real. Like, you was talking to my dude, and then you didn't even tell me. That's where the beef came in at. Like, you was supposed to be my sister. She was supposed to be my sister. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be here. If the shoe was on the other foot and somebody that she was talking to messaged me, first of all, I'm finna tell her. I'm finna tell her, such and such trying to talk to me, girl, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, he blocked already. Then I'm gonna let her handle that. But it's a simple fact that he reached out to her, he threw the ball and she caught it. And then she didn't even tell me. We're supposed to be teammates. You know? But so much for that. But like I said, the beef was real while we was pregnant. I went my entire 9 months without speaking to her. And I remember after my baby died and stuff like that, I just was kind of like in deep need of like friends. I didn't have nobody. My baby daddy was in and out of my life. You know, it was just really bad. I had a rough time trying to heal. The grief was bad. I used to try to kill myself. Like, it was just horrible, very suicidal. I was on medication that had me sleeping all the time because I just couldn't stay in life. So my mama did what any mother would do. She tried to help her baby. She remembered, and I don't put my mom in my business, but I did tell her about that particular situation or whatever. My mama and my sister, they have like a strong liking towards this girl. And I'm not even gonna say I don't know why, because she is very charming. She's a very good friend. And I'm gonna get down to it. Like, she will literally give you her last, and when you're around her, your stomach is going to stay hurting because she's gonna feed you really good till you're full, and she's also gonna make you laugh till you can't laugh no more, till your side hurting. You know, but my mama and my sister has a very strong liking to this girl, and it's because over the years she has been there. You know, and like I say, I don't always put my mama in all my business or my sister, so there's been a lot of times that she has snaked me in like small ways, when not one as big as this one, like this right here. But I never said anything to her, and that's also why I don't trust myself, because there's a lot of times that she has snaked me and I still went back to be her friend. Trauma bond. It could be a trauma bond existing between friends too. Let me just put that out there. But that stuff is real. You can have a trauma bond with somebody you're in a relationship with, and you can also have a trauma bond to somebody that is your friend as well. So because my mom and my sister always see like the good side, and I don't know why, anytime I would tell them about, you know, anything, it's almost like they kind of talk over what I say, or they don't believe me, and they just be like, you know, she's done this, she's done that. But that's the thing. She does this, she does that to draw you back in. she does it to draw people back in. I have been drawn in by her. I have tried to stop being her friend like so many times, but it's to a point where it's like now I just forgive her and I just pray for her and I just try to be a good friend towards her. I don't have a grudge against her anymore. I have truly forgiven her, to be honest. I have, and that's why I'm not damaging her character. I'm not downplaying her in this video, and I'm not talking about her, but I'm just saying what I know. And this person is also still my friend to this day. I'm just really just trying to work it out. I still ask the Lord to help me with this. I'm always praying. And so back to the story. Okay, while I was praying and yada, you know, time went on, lost my baby, boom, boom, boom. At this time, I'm just very needy. I need friends or whatever. My mama does what any other mother would have done to help her baby to come out of this funk. So my mama knows that me and we gonna call her Ann. My mama knows that me and Ann are close friends, and she knows that I go out with this person, and when I'm with this person I have a great time. So she calls her and she's just like, can you get Drika out the house? How we became to start talking, I don't know, because with the anger that I had in me, I'm not sure. I'm surprised that I didn't even curse this girl out and that I did not accept her apology. But what it is, like I said, I was desperate, I was needy, I just needed friends, I just needed a good time. So I started back hanging with this girl. I remember my mama called her, she came over, she brought food, and we went riding. That's something we always did. We went riding around the city. She had drinks, she had the weed. We just had a ball that entire day and that night. I didn't get home till like 2-something in the morning. It felt like old times. We caught up, but we talked about everything but that situation. Talked about everything but that situation. And I remember, like, after us starting back to talk, I was like, that situation, that talk needs to be had. So I decided to do a talk. I decided to schedule a talk with her. So one day I went up to her house and, you know, and I told her what I wanted to talk about. She allowed me to come over. And so I asked her about the entire situation. She still sticking with her story. She did not know it was him. He didn't say anything about me. She didn't recognize his picture, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, but still though, you saw him 3 times that night. But I told her, I said, you saw him 3 times that night. And as my friend, I trusted you. I trust you. But you're telling me you're telling me you didn't recognize him from his profile picture. I was like, that's where the beef came in. I was like, I don't believe it. I told her, with every guy she has ever talked to, and I ain't even being rude with trying to throw no shade or none of that when I said this. But I told her, I said, you want to know how many of guys that you have talked to that have came and tried to talk to me? And I keep it real, I ain't tell her because you wanna know why? Because I blocked them off the rip. Ain't nothing. Soon as I see them in the inbox, block, ain't nothing to tell you. I'll let my friend have her fun. Cause sometimes you don't have to say stuff, especially you know you ain't did nothing. They come in my inbox, block, I know who they is. I can be done seen them one time. And like me and her, we have always drink and smoke together. Until I be on our behinds, drunk and high. You know, thank you, Lord, that I have changed. But I always remember who she talked to. I will always remember the face. I will always remember the name. And some of you guys, if I wasn't even sure, hey, who this is? You know, like, you know, that type of thing. You know, just trying to make sure, you know, just being safe. You know, but she stuck with her same story. She was like, she didn't recognize him. His profile picture didn't look the same. His name was different. She didn't know it was him. And she kept saying he didn't say anything about he had a girlfriend. Ain't no one gonna tell you they got no girlfriend when they doing dirt. None of them will tell you. You know, so that was pretty much that. You know, and I asked a big question. Who messaged who first? She said he messaged her first. That was the only thing that I believed. The only thing that I believed of her story. So, after that, time went on, continued to be her friend, but it always did something in me that it's like I would look in her eyes and just not believe her. I could look in her eyes and not believe her. You know, like, so I always had like this feeling in me, like, you know, like it was a lie. So I remember one day just sitting in my car. It's one of my bad days. I'm crying about my baby. I'm lonely. I don't got nobody. It's just, everything's just coming down on me. So I was like, Lord, this one situation is driving me crazy. I need to know. I was like, Lord, please give me, like, let me know what happened. And I was like, am I wrong? Because it was also eating my cousin. Because I'm like, did I fall out? Like, I started second guessing myself. I was like, did I fall out with my friend behind a dude? Like, I don't want to be that girl. You know, that's what I was saying, Lord. I don't want to be that girl. So I was like, reveal to me, Lord, in a dream, like, you know, something. Show me. Just let me know, Lord. And I kid you not, I'm already sitting in my car. I'm crying. I'm smoking a Black and Mild. Because those were my thing back then, a Black and Mild. Thank you, Lord, for the deliverance from the Black and Milds, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But Black and Milds were my thing. I'm sitting in my car, face just, tears running down everywhere, smoking a Black and Mild. What's crazy is this is her calling me right now. Tears is just running down my eyes, and I'm hurt, and I say, Lord, I don't want to be the girl that done fell out with her friend behind a dude. If I'm missing out on a good friend, I was like, Lord, please give me revelation of what happened. Y'all, I kid you not. And this is where I get the whole thing of remembering 3. I'm sitting in my car, I'm smoking my Black and Mild. You know, I'm smoking my Black and Mild or whatever. I get a download in my head. This is the first download. This is my first, like, kind of like, when I asked the Lord for something and he revealed it to me, he did it. This was the first time that ever happened to me. And I remember I had to keep asking because I was like, I don't think it worked that fast. That's what I was saying to myself. I don't think the Lord, you know, worked that fast. But I got a download in my head. It was like, she saw him 3 times that night. That's what was in my head. She saw him 3 times that night. To your one, you didn't get a good look at him until your first date, but your friend saw him 3 times that night. Because even when I saw him at the 4th quarter, I still wasn't looking in his face. I'm just that kind of girl. I'm shy. I knew a glimpse of him, like, you know, if I saw him, but I didn't have like a good look like how my friend has had a good look at him. Because she saw him 3 times that night. The first time we met them down there in that city, the second time when he came to her house, and the third time when they were all standing together at the 4th quarter. You know, so in my mind, it was like she saw him 3 times that night. 3 times. And that was all I needed. It was like I felt like that's so raging. Like I had just had a vision. I was just staring into space. At this point, I'm like, wow. Like, I'm hurt. I'm like, you right. She did see him 3 times that night. So how she didn't know what he looked like? At that point, I knew she was doing dirt. I knew that she was, I don't know if she thought that I wasn't going to find out, or she was just trying to sleep with him behind my back. Because to the day, I don't know if they did anything. But I remember even after I got that one download, I kept asking the Lord because she kept coming around. She kept showering me with gifts and getting me out the house. Now, I'm needy. I need a friend. So I'm getting out this house. I'm drinking up all this liquor. I'm smoking up all this weed. I'm trying to numb my pain. I don't want to be stuck in this house. I'm trying not to kill myself. So I'm steady going with this friend. She steady feeding me food because she can cook amazingly. She steady providing me with liquor and weed and feeding me. At this point, it's causing confusion in my mind because I'm just like, she's too good to me. She's too good to me. She's steady calling me sis. I'm calling her sis because, you know, that's my sis, you know. But at the same time, I still had this feeling on the inside. That discernment from the Lord. That discernment from the Lord. That's why I would have so much anxiety when I was around her. And I kept asking the Lord. And I feel like the Lord got to a point where he was like, I showed you one time. You don't believe me, so I'm not showing you again. And to be honest, in this life, I still hang around her because it's just like, as my friend, my sister, I don't want to believe that about her. And it's like a trauma bond. Even though all of that she has done to me, because it has been more situations just other than this one. It's just that this one was like the one that took the cake. Like, that's crazy. You know, and it hurt me deep. Because even now, I still just don't even want to believe that about my friend / sis. But All the signs is there. All the signs is there. But like I said, I just don't want to believe that about her. And trauma bonds are real, y'all. Like, for real. I just pray about this entire situation. I ask the Heavenly Father to protect me, you know, from people that say they got my back but don't really have my back. Even after all that she has done to me, I still have deep love for this girl. I still pray for her. I still pray for her. And she's kind of like one of those people, it's kind of hard to shake her. And it's like, I'm done even trying to shake her. I'm not upset with her or anything. I have forgiven her. I pray for her. And I ask the Lord to protect me from people that say they got my back but don't really have my back. Now, when it's all said and done, because every judgment day has to come. We all got to answer to something. I got to answer to something. You got to answer to something. We all have sinned. When the truth all comes out, if I'm wrong, I have no problem with apologizing, because I don't apologize in this situation and I might not even be wrong. And I'm not even wrong. I may not even be wrong. And I have never done anything low down like that to her ever, to nobody ever, to be honest. But yet and still, I didn't apologize to her and him for my behavior in that situation, just in case if I'm wrong. And my camera did die, y'all. But like I said, I apologize to both of them, just in case if I'm wrong. But it's all going to come out one day. It's going to all come out one day. But until then, I'm going to keep saying my prayers. I'm going to keep doing right by people. I'm going to keep rebuking the devil. Keep covering myself in the word. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Because that's all I can do. The Lord has showed me already once. But why am I choosing not to believe it? But it's like I believe it. Why am I still in the friendship? I have a forgiving heart. And through all this that went on in my life, I thought I became like this hard-bodied person, like I was wrong, because I have fallen out with a lot of people on this journey. I have like really just gave a lot of people my behind to kiss. And so it made me feel like I'm the bad guy. But this situation is proof that I'm not the bad guy, because all that has been done to me, I have still forgiven both of these people. And I have forgiven myself, because I'm not so innocent either. But I have confessed all of my sins to the Lord and through everything on my channel. But one thing I can say, with the both of them have done to me, I have never done to anybody else, nor will I ever do that to anybody. And I'm done with this situation. That's it.